Hi, my name is Zach Fischer, and welcome to another one of my Tech Talks. Today, I'm going to be talking about data protection and the difference between data protection and archival. In the previous meeting, or the previous talk that I gave, I talked a little bit about archival and what its equivalent is in the physical world. Now I'm going to be talking about data protection and how I conceive of it in the physical world. I am a big tennis player. I played tennis in college or in high school, not in college, but I played as recreationally in college. And in tennis, any tennis player who's worth his salt carries 2 tennis rackets. And I'm going to draw an absolutely terrible tennis racket, tennis balls, okay. But the tennis racket is interesting because tennis rackets, if you know anything about tennis, you don't just pick up somebody else's tennis racket, and you can't just play with somebody else's tennis racket very well, because there's specific settings that are necessary to get your tennis racket the way that you want it. There's the specific types of strings. There's your specific grip. There's your racket type. And there's the tensile strength of your strings, the tension, excuse me, of your strings. And all of these things make your racket unique. The reason why you have chosen it is because of your style of play. And if you are playing in a match, you want to have a backup racket so that all of these things can be consistent. If your string breaks, your grip tape breaks, your frame breaks, anything on your racket breaks during a match, you could stop and you can get your next racket. That's kind of like data protection. You have 2 copies of your data. One is in a backup location that you couldn't necessarily so in tennis there's multiple different things necessary to play the tennis game. There's the tennis court, there's your tennis rackets, here's your tennis court here. Maybe I'll do it a little higher up here. So you got your tennis court, you got your tennis rackets, and here's your tennis court. There's your tennis rackets, and you can't play the full game of tennis with just your tennis racket, just like you can't run your entire IT environment on your backup. But what the backup is the backup is all of your data with all of your unique preferences, so that when something breaks in your environment, you can restore, and you might have some downtime, but you won't lose any of your data. You won't lose the match due to not having a racket. So that's kind of what a backup is. And in the past, I talked about what archival is. And a lot of people get archival and backup confused. In the physical world, what archival, I said in the last video, would be is a physical storage box where you put all of your belongings that don't fit in your more expensive house. So if you live in New York City, you have a self-storage unit, and you're going to put, in this example, you might put your tennis racket because you can't fit it in your house. But you only have one tennis racket in this physical self-storage unit. So archival is to put things like um, archival is to put things that are old. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's multiple copies of it. It is just a cold storage um, unit that you don't necessarily use all the time. And what data protection is a secondary copy of your data that that is served as a backup in case a catastrophe happens. So I hope this helps you understand the difference between archive and data protection. My name is Zach Fischer. Like, subscribe, comment with any questions. Thanks for listening.